More sand will help Sandy Neck weather future storms. A town councilor hopes to ban drones at local beaches, and find out what one town councilor wants to do with the former Marston's Mills Elementary School. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, February 17th, 2016. I'm Sarah Mannel. A dredging project in Barnstable Harbor is also helping to sustain Sandy Neck Beach. Sand from the dredging project was placed on Sandy Neck Beach, and Beach Park manager Nina Coleman updated the Sandy Neck board on the project during its meeting this week.
This is the dredging material that was placed from Barnstable Harbor. We were able to accommodate all of it.
Oh, cool.
Which was a whole heck of a lot of material.
And it was all suitable.
Last minute panic.
There was a lot of panic. It was a very, very challenging project. If you
There's
go to
still stuff left on Blish.
on Blish, that's
Yes.
correct. But the material that they had to lose, that was going to go to the cottage colony, was placed here.
Yeah.
So we received a lot more material than we had anticipated, and of course we'll
Holy
take it.
mackerel.
That looks like a lot more than we've ever had.
It's
right?
It's a lot of material. Yeah.
But they figured 8.5 million cubic yards?
Not million. 8,000.
Thousand,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Is that right? It's definitely not million.
That's not a million.
Cubic yards.
Cubic yards.
Hey.
It's a lot more than,
Yeah.
it was a lot more than expected, and I'm not saying numbers because they haven't done like an as-built yet, so I can provide you numbers. It was sort of a rush at the end. We didn't get our last extension.
Lots.
It was just like as fast as we could go. So
A lot.
so that's the material. The next picture shows you what it looks like. I'd like you to have a look
My
at that.
gosh, that's good.
It is gray, and that's what it is when it's anaerobic. So it's the bottom of the ocean. It's going to be gray. It's not going to be like the sand you see on Sandy
It'll
Neck.
become sand very quickly.
Very quickly, very quickly. It's going to bleach out. It's beautiful,
Oxidize
soft
out.
sand.
Yeah.
Oxidize out. Thank you, Dr. Pete. And if we are able to retain this material through the rest of this winter, and it's getting late, so we might. It's going to be lovely, fluffy beach sand.
Coleman says that sand is already doing its job. Very little sand was lost during the recent storm. Town Councilor John Flores is working to restrict drone use on public beaches in Barnstable. Flores says there are many liability issues with drones, and other Cape Towns have similar bans in place.
Follow the same language that the National Seashore has, because they're prohibited from their beaches and grounds too. And the reason being was that this past summer at Millway Beach, where I tend to frequent on a regular basis, there were a lot of drones being flown, and some of the folks were just hovering them over families and people sitting on the beach. It was kind of, Big Brother was in your lap. It was kind of creepy. And so I did a little research and just realized that the Dennis doesn't allow them, and neither does the National Seashore. So I think they're following those rules and regs, but it looks like it's going to be coming down the pike very quickly.
Okay.
And Ruth Weil has the.
Do they have provisions for enforcement authority to be able to use them?
I haven't seen the document yet, but I'm sure that will probably.
Because I was going to say that we've had many a Honda lost out in the marsh, and if enforcement was able.
Well,
to...
I think I think it's just. Obviously, there's going to be exceptions to the rule.
Right.
For military or police or fire, of course, they'd have access to it. But this is just Joe Q. Public coming in and flying a drone over your head while you're sitting at the beach in your chair.
And Councilor Flores hopes to present the measure to Town Council in the next few months. While handicapped individuals may soon have easier access to Sandy Neck Beach, the Disability Commission is funding a portable beach mat that will allow access for all.
It's a mat that you put down that provides stability to get you out to the firmer part of the beach. So a lot of the feedback I'm getting from folks is they can get down the handicap ramp, but they can't get any further. So it helps with those folks with the deep sand. It's very deep. And it's the transition from the handicap ramp onto the sand is challenging too.
Right, yeah.
So it improves all that. It improves the wheelchair, even using the beach wheelchair. If you had an older individual pushing the wheelchair, it would make it a lot easier. And it's going to be 100 feet long, and it's going to get from the base of the handicap ramp out to the sort of the bermy area. And we were able to purchase this pricey mat because we went before the Disabilities Commission. From our town here, and they loved the idea and they funded it. So,
Cool.
yes, and so it was a really nice partnership. It's going to be the first in Barnstable.
Sandy Neck Beach Park manager Nina Coleman says the accessibility mat will be in place before the busy summer season. Town councilor and housing committee member Paul Hebert has a plan to add housing in an unused elementary school. Hebert talked about plans for the Marston's Mills Elementary School during the housing committee meeting this week.
I think the town is open to both formats. One, it would be purchased by a developer, and the other one would be that the town would hold on to it and rent it out. And then they were looking at, they would like a program in there that would be the pilot program, payment in lieu of taxes. And my quick jump on it is if a for-profit developer were to capture it, besides paying the taxes, would pay a long-term fee for the rental of the property. So the town would still hold the property, but instead of using up $2 or $3 million to buy the property, you would have that right towards your construction fee.
That's how the two properties, the Lombard Farms, which is senior housing, and the
Yeah.
YMCA Kimber Woods property, which is family housing, that was town-owned property that is leased by the developer.
Okay, so there's already grounds for that thinking.
Absolutely.
So the other thing is, it would be residential, it would be rentals, and it would be, there's 13 acres there. So that's not a small chunk of land, and so it can be very, very creative. So as I started to jump into this, one of the first people I called was Lori, and Lloyd told his staff not to take any phone calls from me. No, but Lori was, in my short, I think it was an 8-minute conversation on the phone, I think we were both pretty excited about the potential. Because one of the things I said was, can we create a hybrid situation where building anything and getting the capital to build something is really minor compared to how you administer and manage that facility. That really becomes the crux of the matter, because who you put in there, how it's managed, how it's taken care of, what the mix is going to be, and all that type of thing.
Hebert says the project would be a for-profit venture that would provide many levels of market rate housing. We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will talk with Town Councilor Paul Hebert. We'll chat with Tom Kerr from the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.
Sit down in the kitchen, fix you a little something